On September 16, 2025, Swiss International Airlines Flight 55 prepared for takeoff at Boston Logan Airport, its engines roaring as 223 passengers and 13 crew settled in for a routine journey to Zurich. The aircraft surged down the runway, lights blurring past as pilots focused on their instruments and the critical V1 decision speed approached. Suddenly, the ordinary scene shattered. A burst of flame erupted from the portside engine, followed by a thick plume of black smoke. For those watching from the terminal, it was a terrifying sight, fire and smoke billowing from a jet engine at full thrust. The energy inside a modern turbofan is immense, and engine fire can quickly threaten the entire aircraft. In an instant, a standard takeoff became a high-stakes emergency. The fate of everyone on board now depended on the flight crew's training and the swift response of air traffic control. The next few seconds would determine whether this incident ended in disaster or survival. The drama on the runway had just begun. The first warning came not from the cockpit, but from a sharp-eyed air traffic controller who spotted the smoke and flames. The controller's urgent radio call cut through routine chatter, alerting the pilots to the engine fire and triggering immediate emergency protocols. Fire crews were dispatched before the pilots even had time to process the full extent of the problem. Onlookers captured the dramatic scene on video, images that would later help investigators. Inside the cockpit, the pilots made a split-second decision: initiate a rejected takeoff. Thrust was cut, spoilers deployed, and brakes slammed on as the jet screeched to a halt. The powerful acceleration turned to violent deceleration, ending Flight 55's takeoff attempt in a cloud of smoke and burning rubber. The crisis was far from over, but disaster had been averted, at least for the moment. Inside the cabin, confusion reigned as passengers were thrown forward by the sudden stop. Molly Furrer, a passenger, recalled a loud boom and a jolt that shook the plane. The silence that followed was broken only by the whine of engines and the sight of emergency vehicles racing toward the aircraft. Fear replaced confusion as passengers glimpsed flashing lights outside. Flight attendants moved quickly, keeping everyone calm and seated, their training evident in their steady voices. The captain's announcement, an engine issue, takeoff aborted, everyone safe, helped steady nerves. As emergency crews surrounded the plane, the professionalism of the crew kept panic at bay. The passengers waited, anxious but unharmed, as the situation unfolded on the runway. In the cockpit, the pilot's training took over. The decision to abort takeoff before V1 was critical. After that speed, stopping safely becomes nearly impossible. The captain called, "Abort!" and the crew executed the rejected takeoff checklist with precision. Thrust levers closed, brakes maxed, spoilers and reverse thrust deployed. Years of simulator drills paid off as the jet came to a controlled stop. Swiss later confirmed the crew followed procedures perfectly, turning a potential catastrophe into a textbook emergency response. The cause of the engine fire would be investigated, but the crew's actions had already ensured everyone's safety. This was exactly the scenario pilots trained for. Rare, but always possible. Training, not luck, made the difference. With the aircraft secure, fire crews confirmed there was no active fire, and the plane taxied off the runway under its own power. Not a single person was injured. Systems and procedures had worked as designed. Passengers were calmly deplaned and returned to the terminal, shaken but safe. Swiss arranged a replacement aircraft, and the journey to Zurich resumed later that night, delayed but uneventful. The incident was a powerful reminder of aviation's layered safety: vigilant controllers, well-trained crews, and robust emergency plans. Even dramatic emergencies like this are anticipated and practiced for. For the passengers, it was a frightening ordeal, but one that ended with a safe arrival and a renewed faith in air travel. In aviation, safety is never left to chance, and on this night, it made all the difference.